And I'm Nancy Cox, and we are so glad you are along for the ride here as LEX-18 gets you ready for the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes.
Nothing sparkles like this gem of a race course on a day like today.
You are so right. The only way to describe it is spring in all its glory. I forget from year to year how gorgeous Keeneland is in the springtime. The colors out here today are just breathtaking. You have the beautiful dogwoods, the red buds, then you have the jockey silks. It is so gorgeous, and tens of thousands of people have packed into Keeneland to enjoy springtime and some great racing.
I'm going with a jockey. I like Mike Smith's horse.
That's as good as any system. Sure. Do people study the racing forms to make their pick, or is it something as simple as picking a jockey or the name of the horse? Jessica Moore talks with bettors. It's an event that captures the world's attention. Now, for the first time ever, the World Equestrian Games are in America, and where else but right here in Kentucky. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to LEX-18 News at 5. I'm Nancy Cox.
And I'm Kevin Christopher.
It is so appropriate. We are proving here in the Bluegrass why we earned that title. We want to give you a look right now from high above the Kentucky Horse Park. These aerials from our sister station, Wave 3. You can see what a massive operation this is. All 1,200 acres of the horse park, I think, have been given a facelift, and I think every inch here is being utilized as there is so much to do here. 8 events, the World Championships in 8 equestrian events, and so much more for you to enjoy. This is the only park in the world dedicated to man's relationship with horse. It's undergone a $75 million facelift, and we are ready for the world. And I'm Nancy Cox. Thanks for joining us this evening. You know, in the equestrian world, to some, this is just as important as the Olympic Games. To some, maybe even more important. For us here at home, it's a fantastic opportunity to display our beauty and our Southern hospitality on a worldwide stage. This is something the state of Kentucky has been awaiting after the culmination of nearly 5 years of planning. And tonight, the official kickoff of this worldwide event. The opening ceremonies are underway behind us. Good evening. We're live from the Kentucky Horse Park in beautiful Lexington, Kentucky, to kick off the 2010 All-Tech FEI World Equestrian Games. I'm Nancy Cox alongside Kevin Christopher, and we are pleased to serve as your host for this special evening. And most important, Kevin, this is the first time for any event of this magnitude to be held in our state.
The first competition of the games actually got underway a little bit earlier today with the beginning rounds of reining at All-Tech Arena.
I am so looking forward to following reining this week. I hear it's really exciting, just a very interactive sport for the audience to watch, and it's considered America's sport, of course, so I can't wait to see it for the first time. Organizers have been able to create many entertainment opportunities outside of the competition in a really festival atmosphere. Our very own Nicole Pence spent the day exploring the grounds, 5 entertainment pavilions, and even caught up with Dr. Pierce Lyons, the founder and CEO of All-Tech, to learn more about what visitors will experience throughout the next 15 days.
Take a look at Australia, followed by Austria.
I love the kangaroo, the little mascot there for Australia. Cherry Holmes, along with a group of bluegrass musicians, will perform a medley of foot-tapping music to serve as the backdrop. Each team will be escorted by members of the Youth Corps, dressed in jockey silks from horse farms throughout our host state. Just one way that the thoroughbred community is embracing the World Equestrian Games. We're back at the opening ceremonies of the All-Tech FEI World Equestrian Games with a beautiful Kentucky sunset behind us. I'm Nancy Cox along with Kevin Christopher, bringing you all the action live from the Kentucky Horse Park. Winona with the singing of My Old Kentucky Home, our state song, and she had several thousand backup singers there as people were swaying and singing along to that very special anthem of our state. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this special edition of LEX-18 News at 11. I'm Nancy Cox.
And I'm Kevin Christopher, and I can tell you the World Equestrian Games started some 12 hours ago but you can still feel the excitement out here at the Kentucky Horse Park.
All eyes are on Lexington now as we begin this 2-week run for the World Equestrian Games. Thousands of people checked out the games today, and all 1,200 acres of the Kentucky Horse Park with its $75 million in improvement. When Winona sang our state song, that was just one of many chill bump moments out there. That was just a spectacular production. Hats off to Everett McCorvey at the University of Kentucky and his entire crew who put on tonight's production. Amazing.
A moment we will remember the rest of our lives.
And I'm Nancy Cox. We're so glad you're with us this evening, but we do begin on a serious note. LEX-18 News has learned that world-renowned equestrian Eitan Beth Halakmi is in critical condition tonight at UK Hospital. He was a participant in last night's opening ceremony. He's known for dressage and was scheduled to perform at the Equine Village this week.
A lot of students got lucky. They got a free pass.
Yeah, the state's college students were given free reign of the park, if you will. It's a way of thanking Kentucky for their support of the games. We're a little more than 4 hours away from the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, and LEX-18 is thrilled to be bringing you all the action live from Churchill Downs. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nancy Cox.
And I'm Kevin Christopher.
The story of the day, actually all week as we've looked toward the first Saturday in May, the weather. Not just because of our hats and beautiful clothes around here, but because of those all-important track conditions. So let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bill Meck back in Lexington in the LEX-18 Storm Tracker Weather Center.
But the owner of Devil May Care believes that it could be fate to get her into the winner's circle.
And that has everything to do with what her father did 50 years ago on the first Saturday in May. Let's go up top again to Alan Cutler and our analyst Todd Schrupp with more on Devil May Care. Good evening, everyone. I'm Nancy Cox. Thank you for joining us for Heart to Heart. We know many women concentrate on taking care of everyone else in their lives, but sometimes neglect their own health. Well, tonight we're focusing on the nation's #1 killer of women, heart disease. Over the next half hour, we'll bring you inspirational stories of women who have been touched by heart problems and are now thriving. We'll also talk with several cardiologists from Lexington Clinic about how women's heart disease symptoms can be different from men's, the latest treatment available, and how you can take steps to lead a heart-healthy life. LEX-18 is proud to bring you this program, and we hope it just might help save a life. A healthy, active woman from Danville collapsed from an undiagnosed heart problem while on the tennis court in front of family and friends. Tonight, how Lori Goggins found the strength to get back to her life.
This is LEX-18 News at 6.
Legal troubles for UK starting quarterback. What he's accused of doing is tonight's LEX-18 big story at 6. Good evening, I'm Nancy Cox. Thanks for joining us at 6. Kevin Christopher has the evening off. We'll have the latest on the case against Mike Hartline in just a moment, but first, another blast of winter is headed to Kentucky. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Bill Meck in the LEX-18 Storm Tracker HD Weather Center. Both Hartline and Carnes are scheduled to be back in court January 24th. Well, will he or won't he? Will Mike Hartline be the starting quarterback for UK when they play Pittsburgh on January 8th? LEX-18's Alan Cutler is here with more about that. All right, Alan Cutler, thank you. And we'll continue to update you on the situation on LEX18.com as well as later in LEX18 Sports. The death toll from house fires in Kentucky just took another jump. 3 more deaths to report, this time from northern Kentucky at a house where a family was using space heaters to try to stay warm. Kristen Flum is live in the LEX-18 newsroom with more. A tearful apology in court today as a Lexington man was sentenced to 20 years in prison for killing his girlfriend's baby. 32-year-old Layman Wessner was convicted of wanton murder in September for the beating death of 2-year-old Jessica Nolan. Wessner read a statement to the jury saying he crumbled inside when he found out Jessica had died, and he was truly sorry for what he called an accident. A lucky landing for one helicopter pilot in Letcher County. It happened around 11:30 this morning on Hazard Road at the Paradise Pizza. Witnesses say 56-year-old Tim Kearns hit a power line which sliced in half and hit the helicopter's windshield, breaking it. The power line then fell on a nearby truck. State police say Kearns was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. His 2 passengers were not injured. The state fire marshal had put a temporary stop to it, but tonight at one high school, the show will go on. That story in a couple of minutes. Also ahead, ask and you shall receive. Employees of a Lexington company hear about the need at the Salvation Army, and boy, do they deliver.